All right, 10 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. About a month ago, I bit into an apple, and I noticed that one of the apple seeds had a little tiny root sticking out of it, and I said, I wonder if this will grow. So I put it in a paper towel, as my kindergarten teacher instructed me all those years ago, and got the paper towel wet, put it in a coffee cup, and now a month later it's sitting in some soil in that same coffee cup, and it's got 10 leaves. And Robin, my dream is to put that tree into my yard and then one day sit under the apple tree that I grew from a seed.
Wow.
That's my dream.
That's pretty cool.
And the best reason, I just want to share something with you ladies. You may not know this about men, but the reason we have anything outside at all is so that we can go out there. We need a reason to go out there. Jeff Wilson is on the phone. Jeff is the host of HGTV's Dream Home, which is a show, of course. He has more than 25 years of home building and remodeling experience, and he's the host of the DIY Network blog cabin video series. He's talking to us about the Thompson WaterSeal study to bring indoors outside so people like me can go outside and sit under an apple tree. Jeff Wilson, good morning, Jeff. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
Good morning. It's good to be with you. Yeah, well, you really went to an extreme to build your outdoor.
Say that again. You cut off.
Dedication there. You've gone to some to growing an actual tree from a seed.
Yes. Well, I suppose I have to wait 10 years, but I am going to go outside.
You'll look at it when you plant it in the ground. You keep looking.
So what is the study? What does the study tell you?
Well, it's interesting. We talked to a lot of people, and we found that 57% of the people we talked to said that their space actually the most important part of their house, which was kind of surprising because I would have thought they would have chosen something else. But no, being outside is important to people. 52% of the people we talked to said that they feel better after they've spent time in their outdoor space. So there's not just a dividend in terms of building your outdoor space so that someday you sell your house and it has a better value, but there's an actual, like, a well-being benefit to building your outdoor space.
I was just going to say, one of the troubles always with outdoor furniture, for example, is the mold that grows onto them. Is that part of this?
Right. Yeah, well, so it's important. It's important whatever your space is to maintain it with the proper sealants, waterproofing. Water is one of the biggest enemies of wood, and water and sunlight. So my deck, for instance, I have a cedar deck that's about 12 years old, and I've got a lot of outdoor wood furniture as well: Adirondack chairs, benches, side tables.
I love that.
It's a great space, but every 2 to 3 years, it needs to be cleaned and then maintained with a stain. For example, Thompson's WaterSeal stain is a latex product that's very easy to use. That's available at Home Depot. You can choose a color that you like. You can choose several colors and really, change the areas of your deck to. We have different colors on the furniture than we do on the deck itself. Different colors on the railings, so you can really personalize the space. But those coatings, by protecting the wood from water, they also help to keep the mold down as well. They have antimicrobial sorts of things in them.
That's
part
perfect.
of it.
That sounds awesome. Where are you? Where do you live?
I live in southeastern Ohio, a little town called Athens, a college town.
Oh my gosh, that's probably beautiful up there. And so.
Well, it's raining. It's actually raining today. So I'm standing here in the doorway of my screen porch, looking at my deck and watching the water beat up on it. Luckily, I had spent time. My wife and I spent time kind of cleaning and staining stuff when we had a week that was nice. But, it's rainy today.
Yeah. So the study, does the study help us as lay people, or do we need an expert?
Well, no. The thing is that everybody can enjoy their outdoor space, and I say, you can keep expenses to a minimum. You can have a beautiful space by using the assets that you have, like your brain, your aesthetic eye. Everybody has some idea of what they like what looks good to them, and your brawn, your do-it-yourself spirit. Those are three important things that can help you have a great outdoor space without spending a bunch of money.
Your brain, your brawn, and your spirit. I like that.
And this is very, very important too. When a person is looking to buy a house, they like to see something else in the backyard other than just a lawn.
Yeah, the curb appeal, we think of the front of the house and how it looks when you drive by, but the backyard is very important. Actually, 41% of the people that we talked to said they purchased their current home because it had a nice outdoor space. And they also expected to be able to sell their home more easily because of that outdoor space. So it can be significant in terms of just as important as having a decent kitchen, a nice bathroom. Having a really nice outdoor space can make or break a sale.
Really? So I saw in Home Depot. I hope it's okay I say that. I saw a kit where you could build your own deck. So what you're saying is we would seal it with the sealant that you were talking about.
Yeah, well, what's important is that you want to protect from water and sunlight. And so it's important that first, with any outdoor surface, that you clean it, even if it's new wood, because new wood has something we call mill glaze when it comes out of the mill. You want to clean the wood with an off-the-shelf cleaner. It's a simple process. Actually, you can go to ThompsonWaterSeal.com. I've got videos where I break it down into very simple steps. And you want to clean it with this. You spray it on. You put it in a plastic pump-up garden sprayer. You spray it on in like maybe a 20, 30 square foot area that you can work. And then you let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes. Scrub it lightly with a stiff bristle brush. I like to put my stiff bristle plastic brush on a pole so I can save my back. And then you hose that all off really well with a garden hose. And then you want to let it dry. When you choose a stain for it, let's say you choose the latex waterproofing stain from Thompson's WaterSeal. You have 5 different colors. You also choose an opacity. You can do a clear, or you can do a tinted stain, something we call transparent stain that has a little bit of pigment. And then we have a semi-transparent stain that has a little bit more pigment. And then a solid stain has a lot of pigment. The more pigment you choose, the longer that coating will last on a surface. So you choose your stain, and this product it's a one-coat product that gives you not just the color, but also the waterproofing and UV protection all in one coat. So you just do this. The cleaning can take, my deck takes me 4 to 6 hours to clean, but it only takes me about an hour and a half to coat the whole deck by myself.
And does this take care of the potential slivers that you can get on the bottom of your feet because children like to run barefoot?
Yeah, well, no, it's definitely the coating. I've got a cedar deck, and I chose cedar partly for the fact that it's how it looks. But in cleaning, when a deck gets dirty, the things that get on it can actually affect the tread. So I find that, because I get a lot of shade from some big trees, that my deck can get kind of a little bit of mildew and maybe even algae in some spots over a long period of time. Once that starts to coat the deck, then it gets very slippery when it's wet, and it can be really dangerous. So keeping it maintained doesn't just mean that it's beautiful and it's going to last. You also can help them, you help them make it safer. As part of my process, every time I clean and stain my deck, I check for things like, do I have rotted wood? Do I have, supports? Do I have rusty metal supports or anything underneath? Is it still attached to the house well? I like to really make sure it's safe. Those are really important things.
So do you brush it on underneath too, on the underside?
It's usually not that important to brush it on underneath. When I install a deck brand new, I like to coat the deck parts. I like to coat everything when I first install a deck. I coat the deck boards top and bottom and install them after they've dried. That's the first time I do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because almost all of the wear and all of the damage comes from the top, from the sun and the water that falls on it.
Yeah.
That one coating will last the deck's lifetime. It's just important to keep that top coat fresh.
Yeah, I'm guessing each deck is different, but some of them are probably pretty hard to get underneath once they're installed.
Sure, yeah, and it's really not important. Most of the time, if you got adequate ventilation, the deck gets wet and it dries. That's really not an issue. You do want to check in case you have problem spots. Sometimes people have gutters that are not working well, and you've got water that spills down the side of the house. That can not only ruin your siding, but then it can drip down between what we call the ledger board in the house, and dirt and leaves can get trapped in there, and over time, that can rot the ledger board. So when you see problems with decks, a lot of time you see it right at the place where the deck meets the house. So it's always good to inspect.
Jeff Wilson, thank you for being on the show with us today. Let's leave the listeners with a website.
Sure, yeah. Go to ThompsonWaterSeal.com. Visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and not only will you get those do-it-yourself videos, but you'll also get some great creative tips to get kind of your design juices flowing.
All right, very good. We will be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala. Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Former FBI Director James Comey releasing a letter to his